check. Okay, I should be live now. View chat. I'm not going to sign in. Okay, so what were we doing the day before was we were able to go through the process of rendering the triangle. This is your vertex shader source, and then fragment shader source. And then you init, and then you create a context, you create a window object. Window, I don't know whether to call it an object or what. I'm just gonna say it's a GLF window pointer, and then if the pointer was null, then you call GLFW terminate, else you create a context from that window, and then you give it a callback. This callback is essentially responsible for, this one is like adjusting the viewport. Then you set up glad. If glad is not set up properly, you exit. And this is some vendor information which I'm trying to print. Okay, let's preset debug. Let's make debug, build debug, or is it debug build? Build debug. Alright. Now what happens is you need to this is me rendering two triangles with the help of OpenGL. And so here what we are trying to do, we are trying to create our vertex shader. And first you create this this one is a, okay, wait, let me enable types. So you pass in a target type. Is it a target? I'm not sure. GL create shader will create a shader when shader is just a set of bytes, and then you compile the shader, you give it like number of source files, and then a pointer to the source file. What was the length about, and then you compile it. And to check if the compilation was successful, you get it via shader info. IV stands for int vector, is like what I read somewhere. And here I am declaring the size of the info log 512. You create a character array, and then you check if it was successful. It is communicated via status code, so success has to be 0 for this to be a successful operation. Similar to that, you create, or let's say compile a fragment shader as well, and then you link the shader with the shader program. And then post that you delete the shaders because you no longer need them as you compile them. That's fine. Then you define the vertices, and we need this indices array because we need a way to tell OpenGL like in what order to render stuff. Then you define 3 entities, which is vertex buffer object, vertex array object, and element buffer object. So first you create vertex array object, and then you also create a vertex buffer object, and then you create an element buffer object, and then bind the VAO first, then bind and set previews. So this was like mentioned in the documentation only. That's what I'm gonna do. I also created a PowerShell script which will compile and run. I mean, it will only compile. Where did it go? Ah, this one. What happened? Did I change anything? Okay, this is because one window is already running, and if I do it again, now it will configuring debug presence. Okay, this sometimes doesn't work for some reason. My tree setter context is also not working, and I believe like it has to do with a clang config, but I don't know. We'll turn on the alignments, then you bind the target, then you bind the array buffer target with the VBO, and then you tell it what is the buffer data, which is like vertices, and then you also tell like the usage, which is in what we wanted to draw. Next is you have GL bind buffer, similar. So GL bind buffer contains data about the order in which you want to draw stuff. It's pretty complex if you think about it. Just to be able to draw a little bit of things, you end up doing so much stuff. Okay, GL vertex attribute pointer. What was it about? Size 3 type G8 flow. Yeah, I mean here also you're gonna pass. This is where I'm telling it what is the about my indexes. Essentially the data which I will pass, whether or not OpenGL should try to normalize it, because I'm already passing a normalized set of data. There is no need for OpenGL to normalize it. So you pass in this normalized value as GL false, which is just 0. Okay. The fact that they had to define, I mean, you could have just written a true false value. Why was there a need to specifically define these macros? I do not understand that yet. Okay. Know that this is allowed the call to toggle the call. I've read this incorrect so many times. The call to GL vertex attribute pointer. Note that this is allowed. The call to GL vertex attribute pointer registered VBS the vertex attributes mount to vertex buffer object. So what it says is that you can unbind the VAO, you can unbind the wow. Afterwards, so other wow calls won't accidentally modify this wow. But this rarely happens. Modifying other wow requires calls to GL bind vertex array anyway, so we generally don't unbind vowels when it's not directly necessary. Uncomment this. This is going to be a nightmare to remember. All of this is going to be so difficult. And see, actually I don't have to remember because this is a specification. It is not something I should remember. This is me writing code. It's not like I'm okay. Learn OpenGL. Learning OpenGL is impossible. What are people saying? I know nothing about graphics programming and all literal editing, and I've been told if I don't know graphics programming, I will never learn OpenGL. But I'm kind of in a mental of like I hate how this shit is so hard, but I want to learn it and I don't want to give up. I want to give up. But I'll try to get deeper tomorrow. How can I learn the concepts and overall fundamentals of OpenGL? This is such an interesting thing though. I know C++ is the best thing I've ever seen in my life. I like to explain things deeply. Guides you and gives you quizzes when you're done reading it to further develop your understanding by testing your knowledge. Okay. Learn WebGL, and I randomly check into the complete overview. I randomly check out Learn WebGL. Wait, this website doesn't support what? And they gave a complete. Is it down? Connection is not secure. What happened? So but OpenGL is the hardest thing I've ever seen in my life. Everything in OpenGL is everything functions and parameters given by the header file. And where can I learn the fundamentals of OpenGL? You know that 1 plus 1 equals 2, and you know that if someone asks you what's 28 plus 1, you're going to just say 29 because you know that mathematical fundamental. That okay, what is he implying? When I read, it feels like I'm learning how to build a rocket with a sim. But maybe it is that complex, right? Because on web you are already working inside an abstraction that is built upon C++, delivered into every person's machine that you call it as a browser. It's not for beginners at all. I just can't learn this. This is too hard. I don't even understand the basic. It's so difficult. I forgot half of the shit that's written. It's teaching me about a vertex and a vec3 and a I think framework. And I don't know that. It's just lines and lines of text and more and more and more and more and more lines of text. Never ending text like how to draw triangle by specializing the exact coordinates in the this is so much. It took me 3 days with no progress. I mean exactly same thing. If anything, it makes more empathetic for game developers in major companies like Rockstar Games. Exactly. I mean, this is. I had the same feeling 2 days before, where understanding how difficult it can be to. But see, this is why the games cost billions to make, right? Yes, exactly. I mean, some indie games are going to take just your time as a currency if you're developing them, but this makes sense. Like he is absolutely correct. Does anyone have any tips on or great or helpful insight to help me understand this, or do I have to keep getting shot by a machine gun in the brain every time I open the documents? When I feel confident, I can focus and understand it. It's like you learn something and you get it, and then you wake up and there is more. How do I learn this? from the complete start because I cannot start OpenGL with the knowledge now currently. So before doing OpenGL, you need to make sure you have the basics down. Learning everything at once is like telling a young child to learn how to fly an airless while they barely know how to ride a bike without training wheels. Obviously, you already need to know how to program in C++ before you start this. These websites and tutorials books already assume you are a seasoned programmer. If you barely know how to program in general, doing OpenGL is not a good idea. The next thing is you should roughly know is a bit basis of computer graphics concept. Yeah, I get it. See, but not on the computer graphics concept, but like I have worked with. I mean, as a front end guy, I know what an event loop is. So it was not that difficult for me to figure out what is possible and what is not. Learning OpenGL without any context on what computer graphics is akin to doing black magic with things you don't understand. You need to be conscious of what you are doing even in the first place with the pipeline and what stage you are currently in doing things for. The next thing you need to understand is basics in linear algebra. Yep. Knowing about matrices or how to operate with them transformations. It's not overwhelming because see I know it. I was good at high school math a lot. Computer graphics programming and OpenGL is one of the base layers of the abstraction tower and people exactly because these games engines are internally going to call these libraries, and if you have a compiled version of it, although it will add a layer of you can say slowness if you build multiple abstractions, but sometimes it is not worth it, not worth your time. The exact reason why people use TypeScript for everything because it's a meta language which gets stuff done, and if as a person if I just want to get stuff done, I'm not going to bother much about how do I do it. I'll just do it with what I have. If you want to program games, this is already too low. Most modern games are programmed using a game engine package. If you have these basics down, turning back to learning OpenGL will come much more intuitively instead of wondering what a view frustum is or what shaders are or UV coordinates. You already know that and just need to know how OpenGL implements this. Yep. Basic math, applied linear algebra, ray tracer. Ray tracer? What? Already GPU renderer? So when I filtered started everything. Is this thread logged? Why can't I? Okay, it might be new. This is going okay. Wait, because I've been there and currently still some with this may help you out. Okay, I don't know if it was a bad decision or not, but I got into C++ with the express purpose of making 3D graphics applications early on. What is this? Open.gl? Oh, okay. Isn't it the same thing? This is just drawing polygons. This is I think the old way of doing OpenGL where it doesn't require you to create shaders. Okay, you are creating shaders. Textures. willing to give it a lot of time. That is fine. Matrices, transformations. I know what scaling is. You can just tell me via vector mathematics what a scaling is. You don't have to tell me rotation around x-axis, y-axis, around z-axis. Yep. And matrix where you can multiply two matrices like this. I mean, this is also fine. I think for mathematics maybe I can use another library, matrix transforms, GLM. Nice, great. To be able to do this is going to be so much fun. Graphics programming jobs. Anyways, see, I wanted to learn this because I wanted to create on my website some graphics which are really low level. mat4 main loop. 12 years ago. Why are you doing matrix multiplication the vertex tag? I mean, 12 years ago. 12 years is a long time. This is great. I'm doing this in 2026 and I don't think so that it has gotten any easier, but at least I have more resources and I have codecs. That's the best tool which is going to help you build stuff way faster. I think I get the frustration, and I don't think so that there is what is this, the proprietary GL implementation iron system, like, okay, oops, wrote too much. Make a Minecraft clone. Seems easy for sure. Where you have to tell what is happening when something goes wrong. You might get a blank cell or something incomprehensible. I like to for instance will draw a triangle on the screen every time got to another match and copied the previous program to a new one. So that I have dozen of examples of everything along the way. It's essentially composition is what he's talking about. When I refactored something to stop and go back to earlier examples, start to figure it out. When I got a bit more sophisticated, using OpenGL pointers to memory of points instead of shoveling triangles at it, I'd go back to customers and make each step along the way in to make. Then I got OpenGL vertex shaders. Do it again and then transform shaders. I found that I just could not bring it. Actually, this is where I wanted to, because see, this is not something you can learn naturally. What I need is composable examples that I can piece together and build something. I don't have to remember it end to end. This is not something you do in programming anyways. What was that guy's name? Tokyo Spliff. Tokyo Spliff, GitHub. Does he ever are there any code repositories which you might have? Okay, I don't think so. This is the same person. Tokyo Spliff. Oh. Okay. Who's this guy? Hell 2025. Wow. hell engine. GLSL Chris 11 amok collection. Okay, wow. Usage. Wow. I started a new project to explore using voxels to incorporate Indian directly like it. Will finish light fabrication the CPU, then move it all to in OpenGL directory. Auto will and then let the okay. I mean, oh my god, I understand so much detail of what he's trying to say. But you can get this level of animation. Can I editor menu is buggy still? 2 days ago. Wow. This is great. This is actually great. Can I fork it? I really want to fork it. I'll fork it. The best way. And I've decided to fork it because if the base repository is deleted, I'll have a copy of it. I really want to check it. Run and release physics runs like shit in debug. Okay, I mean, let's go. Let's see how it goes. There's no harm in opening hell 2025. Older commits before or managed by git LFS. Okay, okay. But this is great to think that may factor and then you have a project. Alright, Visual Studio project, source, API, camera, math. Wow. Inline, GLM, load hard coded room model. Vertices. To think that all of this can be defined using code is really good. SRC Bible. Okay. Sorted by weapon type, then damage sorted alphabetically. Okay, void in it. Can you do this? Can you really do this? Bible in it. Switch type and then case. G. Why is there a G? Then see, he's essentially using camel casing. Not really. Null pointer. Okay. If the pointer exists, return it. I'll return the null pointer. Wow. I'll try. Okay. How much time it's going to take? 2.5 gigabytes. I think there are a lot of assets in the project, maybe. But this would be such a great learning point. Makes you really wonder, do you really want to do it this? Okay, see, maybe for something very simple, I'll be okay with Neovim. Maybe I'm gonna need Visual Studio for me to be truly able to do stuff, right? It's not like I'm totally against the idea of using Visual Studio. It's just that I like writing code in Neovim. That's just that, I mean it was that's how I wanted it to be, but C++ is going to give you so many. I mean, Visual Studio has such a good debugger. You're not really going to need CMake for it. And I think with a game of this side, this size, you absolutely do. You absolutely need that. Is there any CMake file? Don't think so. It is a Visual Studio project, so. Wow, this code is so good. Doesn't look like it is written by these AI models because it is so simple to read. Bro just decided to give it away, which is such a great thing, such a great thing. And see how many people have started at around like 2.5 thousand. You will learn stuff which will be so much try blender. Okay, I think it will take a lot of time. All documents will manage by LFS 2030. It's gonna take a lot of time to download. I mean, I'm completely okay with it. I have enough RAM, I guess, on my system. But if you can do this without a game engine, why would you even need a game engine? This is so much better, and I believe like this will be so much optimized. Let me try to see the oldest commit. It has only 357 commits. Okay, live in a muck. GitHub is so bad. I just wanted to see pull request 7 fix foundational timing JS state fix step update read. Oh my god, update readme. This is so stupid. Developer developing. Update really. Come on man, it's not even a correction. Close this is insanity. Minor changes is such a change 30 change 1900 lines of code and call it minor changes. What did you really do? Player torque. This is amazing. For somebody, I think what I follow him, but I don't completely know how he does things. Head engine rewrite 1 billion plus plus. The code base began as a CPU recaster to explore the viability of a voxel-based idea I had for global illumination. The voxel idea did not work out in the end. The voxel grid caused lightning artifacts, but rewriting it to use a point cloud did, and here we are. This is now the Hell engine, the engine I'm writing to house a split screen roguelike deathmatch survival horror game. Insane. Nice. If I can understand this, then this will be one hell of a thing. I will like consider myself a true C++ god at that moment. Insane stuff. Really makes you wonder. In particular, advanced lighting, advanced OpenGL. Oh god, advanced lighting, PBR in particular, guest articles, code repository. This is going to take a lot of time. Raycaster. This is actually going to take a lot of time for me, and I think it is fine if I keep using. Maybe if I stop using. What do you have? This CMake, because I'll end up learning something which I don't really need. Right. I mean, it was good that I was able to create a small application, but I think let's do it the right way, the industry way. I don't hate Visual Studio, it's just that I wanted to see if I can do it in Neovim, and it turns out that you can. Alright, so there is no point me trying not to do it. Okay, since see this is just a single source file, so what I will do is just I'll copy the entire source file and I'll put it here. What is wrong? Glad. Where are the errors? Too many arguments to a function call. Where? So it's telling me that uh, I think I kind of get it. Maybe it has something to do with screen width. The actual source code defined it differently. Okay, let me check. Hello triangle. These people are insane. Okay, बंद कर दो. I think somewhere I'm doing that same step, but it see it works in the Neovim version, but not exactly here. So I guess somewhere where is it? Where is it? What was the line? Glide success, right? Success. Window. This part. If not, glad load GL loader. Should I write it down again entirely? I really want to, just for my memory. I really want to write it again. Let's do it. Let's rewrite it for the same reason, because I believe rewriting something many times is going to give you the ability to have it in your muscle memory. So yep, exactly. Or domain. If you wonder what extension am I using, so it is this is how it should be. Opening them side by side. Close all, close all. How much time it's gonna take? Okay. Don't open it in. Oh my god. Yeah. Yeah. Hell nah, hell nah, hell nah. I hate Visual Studio Code. I hate it. Why would anybody use Visual Studio Code? I don't get it. It's an Electron editor. What are you, a web developer? These are my. When I was a child, I used to write code in TypeScript. I can remove this. I cannot write code without Vim. Okay, let's do it. Let's rewrite the entire thing, but the modern way. Or maybe I'll keep the. See, one great thing about Visual Studio is that it's not. It has no opinions about how something should be done. Right, so I am going to do it the proper way, which is frame buffer, glw window, enter window, int. definitions. It's not like I'm writing the definitions. Okay, glib window. Let's define them. And what you can also do is like remove height from this, and then also, because this is a function declaration and it doesn't require you to actually frame buffer size callback. Okay, see, I will try to use the if I just want my code to work, it can have many issues, honestly. Right. But I have this powerful visual debugger. Right. What am I trying? What am I thinking? What I'm thinking is that I really shouldn't be needing I'll tell you later what am I trying to do. First let me frame buffer size callback, right? Okay, it doesn't work like that, is that so? It really makes you wonder if this is really worth it. That is, writing code this way. Name. Big 4. A position.c, then 1.0. And then your shader source will be can I not create lambdas here? It really makes you think a lot about how to write modern C++ code. Shift insert. Copy. Why am I not able to fixes. This is glad.h. Next thing I should do is this line where in my Neovim in CMake version when I'm using WinGW this doesn't complain, but here it does. So I'm trying to make an understanding about why. So this is the piece of code which will work here. That is load GL loader, okay, it has to be glad load proc. Okay, write it down. Glad load. No. What? Ah. Window pointer is null, then do that. Else do something else. So this should work, and I'm going to remove all the comments. Maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't. I should not remove comments. It's like nice. So this also works. This is lesser work you need to do if you're using OpenGL. Hello two triangles. Can how do I add tools like spy plus? What is spy plus? Okay. Spicy red. Can I not get grow box? Groove box. Just need groove box. Extension. Why is there an ID if the ID doesn't work? Groove box. Yep. Why can't I see groove box? Okay, it's still getting installed. I guess cancel install. Do I need to close it? I guess so. Yep. What is this BS? You need to close stuff to install stuff. Microsoft can be really weird. Okay, so I was able to create a window object. And what I'm really worried about is what about the complexities? What if I have some file which is really difficult to load? What about those? What is going to happen? Go box Visual Studio. happen. Why is Microsoft so ass? Why can it be so bad? I think I should stick to using maybe Visual Studio. Renting a triangle is insanity, but it at least works. And I think this style of programming is not going to take me a lot, because I'm not able to see what is the correct way of writing it. So is there a way I can add? Is there a way to do that? Bringing Clang. Okay, but advanced installer. Otherwise, we just select modernize and transform the start physical static analyzer. This is what I really need, though. Clang power tools. Where can I install it? Manage extensions. Clang. Okay. First, remove grow box. This shit did not work. And second is Clang tools. Yeah. Okay. Free standalone tool. Visual Studio is not required. Style editor. Predict the best matching format style. Okay. Auto generated documentation. Alright. Tidy fix. Also client ID analyzer checks. Nice. see where changes we need, but I guess it's okay. What did he do in main? Looks exactly how it should look. This would be just an initialized memory. Do you really care? As somebody who's like, see, they recommend to write code in some way. What about you passing a unique pointer or a shared pointer here? Will it affect anything? I don't know. I don't know if it will. But if it does, how does it really change anything is what I'm thinking about. Window and then all events. I don't know, I mean, this stream, I'm thinking what should I do? Should I go ahead with, this OpenGL on Visual Studio, or just go with the Vim based workflow which I had before? Because see, what I really needed was good. Let me ask Codex for a really big project. Let's say a custom PM engine. This project setup scalable. From a game dev perspective, it should be, but let me think what should I do? How much time are you really going to take just to answer this? Short answer, the tooling choices is scalable, the current project shape is not. Okay, same like this Ninja. The first thing that breaks is because it's not the prelude, the boundary, it's a boundary quality. Right now the project is essentially one executable target. Yeah, that becomes high fan out when needed, but it's too much of the graphs, if it gets slower target. Okay. Not a tag of targets, not one blob. Thinking subsystems, okay. One top level for shade, okay, split by subsystem. Now here's global import directories. Okay, so I think I'm jumping ahead a lot of things which I shouldn't be doing right now, because this is fine as a starting point. This is fine, we being able to directly communicate with the OpenGL. because I want to write C++ code, but I want to write it this way, the modern suggested way, where it is a member initializers, where you get to have most debug information, right? And maybe I'll end up at a place where it's not easy. Okay, so I'm deciding it. I will not be using Visual Studio for the time being. I'll stick to using Neovim because I mean, this is just how I want to do it. Okay, let's move on to the next chapter. How much time did I take just to conclude this much? Almost an hour. Almost an hour of nothingness. Goodness. Okay, so let's also try to do the... Okay, to get really into it, to do really good grasp of the concepts, it is advised to go through them. Okay, now try to do two triangles next to each other using getting more vertices. Okay, to create the same two triangles using two different vowels and VBAs. Two triangles, the second one is a different method opposite color and yellow. Okay, so try to draw two triangles next to each other. Okay. Okay. Let me try that. So currently I have these two. What is it saying, like to draw these two triangles next to each other? Isn't it already doing it? Okay. By adding more vertices to your data, two triangles. Am I not drawing two triangles already? What does it really mean? EBO mode. Nah, okay, this is not using an element buffer object. It's not using EBO. It's just gonna use EBO. Feels like what I'm diving into is going to be such a difficult process, because see, exactly, I see why people would give up on this, because it is such a slow progress on something big. Maybe it will be worth it later on, I guess, because being able to get to that point where you are able to create a first person shooter, that is insane. That is really insane. That when you say W, your character swiggles left and right. That is what I'm looking for. And I believe a game engine would abstract all of these things because you're not really building something, you're just composing built stuff. That's what they call an IDE is what I can think of, but yeah, sounds like a big challenge, honestly. What I wanted to do was something different. I wanted the ability. Let's see this. Shaders are the only way you can render this logic. Okay, what did I change? Okay, is there a way I can namespace all of this? Okay, let me check. Okay, so your vertices, if let's say these are the 0.95 negative, left, right, top, left, right, and then top. The left one, the right one at the top. Hmm. Okay, let's do this. This stream, I want to do something else. Although it will, I want it to be relevant to OpenGL or maybe game dev in general. I'll change the title of it because this time we did not do anything much. What I want to do is first let's check if Groove Engine allows me to write C++ code. So features, showcase. Keep your code model with an object oriented API using Grove's own GD script. C++ Grove's GD extension. Okay, so you can either write C++ or any other thing that you want. Deploy your game on desktop, mobile, and in the 30 seconds. Groove even supports consoles for third-party publishers. Simple and proud. 3 units gives you everything you need to build an animator into 3 words and characters. Open source. Groove Foundation. JetBrains, and then a lot of Sentry. Even Sentry is. Wow. Wow. Open server code patron. Slow Warrior. Code Guru is sponsored by Corporate Gold. Okay, these might be the companies who are giving it back to the community. Wow. You can do this in Guru. just great indie games. So this is where I want it to be, I guess. So there are two ways I can do this. First, I need to decide what do I need. Do you need the ability to build games? Or what is that you really need? Godot seems like a great option. Completely checklist of features. Okay, and then you have this other thing called as Unreal Engine. And I get that these giants are utilizing Unreal Engine for their games, but my point is, okay, it's a 3D game, right? Blender, Blender, Blender thumbnail. Debanding. GPU. Looks very Pythonish. Godot script. Godot scripting engine, okay. Then you have shaders. Familiar reference, shading languages. Code. Corresponding code would look like this. Okay. Oh, graphics card calls the fragment functions once more. But the build is really insane. So, see, it's like I shouldn't be saying that though, but I cannot make the same arguments like what web developers have when it comes to uh, web frameworks. Because building games is a different beast. Class reference editor only. And Godot script just looks like a great idea. Best practices. Okay. Specific problems. It's impossible to cover them all here. This is, I've never made a game before. I know how to make a game, I want to use how to use Godot. I know how to use Godot, I want to learn more stuff, and I know how to use Godot. I've never made a game. Before you start, you can learn through. Okay, this is enticing. Honestly, this is really, really enticing. Let's see how it goes. I wanted to stream, but I ended up confusing myself. I ended up confusing myself with all of this, and now I need time to think regarding how should I really make these videos for myself and for somebody who would like to do something. Anyways, I'm stopping the stream. We will see what we do the next video. I need time to think.